What's up, y'all? I was chilling with Daniel Raw, going live on here. Didn't really have nothing else to do, so I might as well went live. So, just gonna wait for everybody to come in. See, we got one live. What's up, bro? Putting it all up on Insta right now, real quick. Here we go.
Hey, like I ain't on 1, 2, 3 pop. Like I ain't finna bust when my homeboy make the fucking beat drop. Bustin' the cap and the whack when I'm rapping, you really need to trust in the fact that I'm back and I'm slapping the industry for ducking the cap when he rap with the passion when I'm in the space, crushing the fashion. Like I ain't never ate in this game. Like I ain't never seen a happy some big things. Like I ain't been around the world with so many different girls and kinky parties that it can lift the spirit of Rick James. Like I ain't a fixture, never knew Twister, and never did music for the Alpha Dog picture. Like I never script the pledge in the scripture. I had a hit song by my own liquor mixture. Do it like I wasn't a starter, that wasn't a Carter. Wheezy wasn't.
What's up, y'all? Oh man, I am. In my head right now, man. So I just needed to do something to get out of it. Oh, what are we gonna listen to?
Heart of my cousin, the water. Easy. Nothing was part of a busting and touching the heart of people that's loving the heart of stuff in the charter. Please easy. Like I never got signed. Not a one, not a two, but 3 times. Like I never did get the cheddar or see shine. Like a sleep time for peeps mind. No T9. Like if these rhymes really never ever happened. Till right now, like pow, I got it cracking with the pen and pad without no backing. Trying to stack and get action and pull the cash in is the way that I'm rapping. Like I ain't rich. Like I ain't so. Not a near record platinum and near gold. Like I ain't drip. Like I ain't froze. Like I ain't made a $250,000 for a show. Like I ain't big, like I ain't huge, like I ain't shit, like I ain't paid dues, like I ain't full, like I ain't cool, like I ain't built an empire in the zoo, like I ain't toured with the J-Rock, with the homie K-Dot, like I ain't never had the allure for the pace lock stressing, like I didn't skip in the session with the 7, never guessing the effing cure and the spray thoughts, like I never had a shot or a song with the white guy Dre got. Like I didn't have a lane lock, never went on to set a ball up with Mr. Baywatch. So, like I didn't meet Trav yet, like I never had assets, bad with the pin but never cash checks. Rapping like I ain't even close to having the bag yet. Like I'm trying to be the best up in this hip hop, and do a track with the king of Atlanta tip top. Then turn around and go switch it up and do big rock. Trying to ride all the way up to my homie and Slipknot. I get chill. Like I never heard fans yell it. Not the calm, not the worst, even angelic. Before they told me that I can't sell it. Before I went to the reunion, the fam nail it. Like I didn't have this new watch, and it never would take and never do talk. Like I'm rapping myself until I'm blue hops. Rapping like I ain't never did a record with Tupac. Like I ain't rich, like I ain't so. Not a near record platinum and near go. Like I ain't drip, like I ain't froze. Like I ain't made $250,000 for a show. Like I ain't big, like I ain't huge. Like I ain't shit, like I ain't big dudes. Like I ain't fool, like I ain't cool. Like I ain't built an empire in the zoo. Like I ain't keeping my job yet. Like this is the process, trying to get from the project. So I spit like I got next, and I trip a few objects. Like I'm itching to fly tech, whipping in kitchens with Pyrex. To the mission that God said, for me ripping these quick and will not rest. Like no flipping technician is obsessed. Like I didn't know when I was dropping. Independent music I wasn't topping. And all the bad bitches wasn't jocking. I rap like I didn't know I do a record with Hobson. They call me Tekanina, I'ma shoot this. If you dissing, you really don't wanna do this. Niggas wanna try me, then you're gonna lose it. I rap like I never did a record with John Lucas. Hungry. Like I never knew Mastros. Like I didn't know Trey was an asshole. Like I didn't have a stash full of cash flow.
Tech Nine's something else, man. There's another song that I like. Hold up.
You think you're original? You ain't original. You were programmed to be you. You're a slave and you don't even know it. Shit you think of ain't even your thoughts. Let's step out the box for a minute. Yeah. How do we know if God exists? How do we know it's positive? Are you the definition of an angel or the opposite? If you lost your wallet and I found it, I would not commit to stealing it. But if the tables turn, then you will pocket it. See, I've been me for so long, but I still don't know who Hobson is. How come I'm the one my teachers used to have a problem with? I show my music to different labels, they ain't too fond of it. But in the underground, I seem to get so many compliments. Say my name and it's like people get afraid and shook. But if you take a look, you'll see I'm nothing like an angry crook. I'm learning hands-on, you busy with your placing books. I'm here to benefit the world, so heaven's where we're safely put. I'm not a devil, not speaking in tongues. I just want to touch your heart, I try to reach it in songs. I'm from where a child's future's on the streets with his bums. Because it's hard to become something so unique where I'm from. When the sun is down, I turn a rainbow soar in the air so high. It may seem so that I can't see, but the darkness provides the light for me. I don't wanna be lonely, and the moon is my only homie. If there's a higher power, then show me. Instead of not turn on rainbows. Obama's president, so what's it represent? Just because the niggas half black don't mean he's heaven sent. You're clueless to evidence, and all the minds he's messing with. His charming smile hasn't got my ass about this death and shit. Fronting like he's truly Jesus, and all you fools believe it. The change he's making isn't good, that's just how you conceived it. It's like y'all broken than ever. It's due to reasons dealing with self-beneficial plans and the movement he's with. Illuminati, whatever the fuck they go by. They're the reason weird shit happens, and we don't know why. Why did Michael Jackson start his tour then have to go die? How did rap music go from really good to so dry? Real artists get shelved and rap boys get famous. To leave masses brainless, a smart mind is dangerous. In their eyes, there probably ain't no real shit in your playlist. You just a product of what my government has created. When the sun is down, I turn a rainbow soar in the air so high. It may seem so that I can't see, but the darkness provides the light for me. I don't wanna be lonely, and the moon is my only homie. If there's a higher power, then show me. Instead of not turn on rainbows. Yo, we're all smart, and we know what's bad.
Man, wouldn't that be fucking crazy? Like, seriously. If, like, I really don't know how to say it, but if we were like the only things out here, and like the government was like the only thing like running us or whatever, or running it doesn't. I don't know how to fucking explain it, but oh, I'm in a mood today. I tell you what. It's just crazy. It just makes you think about everything.
Bad and good for us, but yet when you got offered some marijuana, you took a puff. Your brain's a fucking powerhouse, but what, that wasn't good enough? It's people like you who talk that shoulda, coulda, woulda stuff. You probably threw your life away, cause you would rather get high with no license in car, so you bum rides to get by, saying I should've did this, or I shouldn't have hung with this guy. I'm broke as fuck, my rent's high. Oh, I should've realized I ain't being cruel with these situations that I address. I more than likely could be someone you admire, yes, but it's because the blood, sweat, and all the time that I invest. We play the same game, difference is you never try your best. You don't have a skill, you set yourself up for a higher mess. I work around the clock, you slack off for lots of time to rest. Keep bullshitting till your life is gone, cause living's naturally hell. You have to work to put a smile on it.
God, that's the fucking truth right there, man. Like, life is naturally hell. You have to work to put a smile on. Like, it seems like music, man, is like the only thing that freaking like gets me through a lot of it.
Soaring in the air so high, it may seem so that I can't see, but the darkness provides the light for me. I don't wanna be lonely, and the moon is my only homie. If there's a higher power, then show me. Instead of not turn a rainbow when the sun's down. Nocturnal rainbow soar in the air so high, it may seem so that I can't see, but the darkness provides the light for me. I don't wanna be lonely, and the moon is my only homie. If there's a higher power, then show me. Instead of nocturnal rainbow. Nocturnal rainbow soar in the air so high.
What about this one?
Nocturnal rainbow soar in the air so high.
That's why I like Hobson, man. I like Hobson's music because it makes you think.
Most powerful signal. Switch and get 2 new lines of unlimited for only $90 and 2 iPhone 11 Pros on us. Only at T-Mobile.
If I would have had this when I was maybe 20, I probably would be.
Hobson, Illmind of Hobson 7.
Anybody I might along. Life is a tour, sitting right along. Taking some notes and then I write the songs. I'm staring down the road, my life is gone. Is this where I belong? Is it wrong to not believe in right and wrong? My mental state is fucking me up, and I cried upon while asking you for some answers, but we don't have that type of bond. That my desire's gone. with the way that I've been living lately. If I died right now, I'm turning fire on. Sick of this bullshit. Niggas call me a sellout. Cause I hopped in Christianity so strongly that I fell out. Now I'm avoiding questions like a scared dog with his tail down. Feeling so damn humiliated cause they looking at me like I'm hellbound. What story should I tell now? I'll just expose the truth. I'm so close to the fucking edge, I should be close to you. But who the fuck are you? You never show the proof. And I'm only fucking human, yo, what am I supposed to do? There's way too many different religions with vivid descriptions. Begging all fucking men and women to listen. I can't even beat my dick without getting convicted. These ain't wicked decisions. I got different intentions. I've been itching to get it. I've been giving assistance. But the whole fucking system is twisted. Now I'm dealing with this backlash because my decision to Christian. And I've been told that my separate life is an addiction. But I can't buy it. It's just too hard to stand beside it. I need an answer.
That's another thing, man. Like, there's too many religions out there that like want you to believe in them, and like every single freaking religion that's out there, every single one of them, like they say that their religion is the right religion to get to heaven or go to hell. Like every single one of them out there is like, you got to be doing this or you got to be doing that, and all these other religions out there are like wrong and ours is right, and then it's too many different of them that just it's just nuts. Every single one of them wants you to believe in them. It's just crazy.
Can't provide it. I look at the earth, the sun, and I can tell a genius man designed it. It's truly mind-blowing, I can't deny it. Is heaven real? Is it fake? Is it really how I fantasize it? Where's the Holy Ghost at? How long does it take a man to find it? My mind's a non-stop tape playing and I can't rewind it. You hand me the Bible and expect me not to analyze it. I'm frustrated and you provoked it. I'm not reading that motherfucking book because the human wrote it. I have a fucking brain, you should know it. You gave it to me to think, to avoid every useless moment. It was a mission that I had to abort, because humans be lying with such an inaccurate source. It's gonna be hard to put.
See, that's the thing right there. Like, we such an inaccurate source. Like, it's so true, because you don't know like which religion is right. You don't know which religion is wrong. And like I was saying earlier, yeah, they'll tell you anything just to get you over there. And once you're over there, and it's up to you to decide whether that's the one that you want to go with or not.
Back on the course, next Jehovah's Witness to come on my board. That's where I'm slamming the door. A lot of folks believe it though, but I'm not surprised. Humans are fucking dumb, still thinking that Pac's alive. I ain't trying to take your legacy and torture down. I'm just saying, I ain't heard shit from the horse's mouth. Just sheep always telling stories of older guys who were notarized like you, and you finally vocalized. Now I'm supposed to bow my head and close my eyes and somehow let the Holy Ghost arise. Sounds like a fucking poltergeist. Show yourself, and the boom is done. Every room is gone. I no longer doubt this shit. You're the one. I'll admit that my sinful ways were stupid fun, and all my old habits can hop on top of a roof to plunge. I donate to a charity that could use the funds. Fuck the club instead of bitches. I hang with a group of nuns, and everyone I ran into would know what I came to do. I wouldn't take a step unless it was in the name of you. I hate the fact that I have to believe you haven't been chatting with me like you did Adam and Eve, and I ain't seen no fucking talking snake unravel from trees with an apple to eat. That shit never happens to me. I don't know if you do or don't exist. It's driving me crazy. Send your condolences. This is me reaching to you, so don't forget that hell is truly a pit of fire and I get thrown in it. I'ma probably regret the fact that I ever wrote this shit. My gut feeling says it's all fake. I hate to say it, but fuck it, shit, I done lost faith. This isn't a small phase. My perspective's all changed. My thoughts just keep picking shit apart all day. And in my mind, I make perfect sense. If you aren't real, then all my prayers aren't worth a cent. That won't mean that I can just make up what my purpose is, and I can sit in church and just say fuck in the services. Man, what if Jesus was a facade?
This part right here, pay close attention.
And that would mean the government's God. I feel like they've been brainwashing us with a lot, so much that we don't even notice that we're stuck in the box. Man, everything is what if. Why is it always what if? Planet Earth, what if? The universe, what if? My sacrifice, what if? My afterlife, what if? Every fucking thing that deals with you is fucking suspect.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, it's just crazy because you have to run off of pure faith. Pure faith. And then, like, when you die, that's the only time that you'll find out if anything's real or not. And that's it. Just, it happens through death. And it's just crazy to think about. You don't know if you're right or wrong or which one that you need to go to until you die. And That's the only thing in life that's guaranteed is death. Just one thing in life is guaranteed, and that's death. And that's when you find out if all this stuff is real or not. And it's pretty freaking crazy if you think about it. Just this is how deep that I think about stuff. Like, I'll give you an example. Yeah, on and off, like sometimes or whatever. I had a thought come across my mind a long time ago, a few years ago. And it just stuck with me. Just say that we have people that care about us, right, and everything. And at this point in time in history, like, if you were to die, I mean, like, when you die, 100 years, like 20 years can pass, people still think about you. 30 years pass, people still kind of think about you. 50 years, you're brought up in a conversation a couple times. And then, like, 100 years, like, people are like, who's that? And it's like 110 years ago later, and then 130, 150, then 200 years ago, nobody knows about you. Nothing you ever did, like, mattered to anybody. 150 years later. So it's like, it's crazy. It's like if you don't do something that's completely crazy, like Hitler or something like that, that started the wars and everything and did all that crazy shit all them years ago. If you don't do something like that, you're going to be forgotten about. And it's like crazy. And then you get on Ancestry.com and all this other stuff that you can go through and everything. It's like, you don't even know if that's real or not. It's just crazy. It's like, do we even actually really matter? I don't know. I mean, we definitely matter at this, like, point in time, like right now, but like 150 years from now, 200 years from now, like, we'll be, who is that guy? Like, who are you talking about? Like, it's just crazy if you think about it.
I'm fucking done! I'm fucking done! This is my fucking life and I'm living it. I'm having fun. If you really care for me, prove that I need to live carefully. But I'll be damned if I put my own pleasure aside for an afterlife that isn't even guaranteed. We are you, and you're us. Stop playing games. My life's all I got, and heaven is all in my bread. And when I feel I'm in hell, my ideas are what get me through pain. Do as you please, and I just do me. I'm a human. I'll stay in my lane. Ill mind.
Hobson just makes you think, man. Like, it's crazy.
Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write essays that inspire, your bullshit, come on for that. Someone tell these motherfuckers that hop is back. I got my do-rag on with my pity sitting on it now. I'm ready to fuck the game up. Nigga. You can get it. You can get it. You can get it. You can get it. doesn't matter.
Yeah, the dark nights in his pics without the mask and cape. I'm acting ancient, back and embrace it. I just got validation on my ass whooping ticket. I'm that amazing. It's my mad invasion. It's smashing brains in my fucking pen and pad was anxious. All these haters who mad and be nagging at me, I flip their ass off like an acrobat on a trapeze. And I'll be lashing back like a jack attack on these rap beats. You thought that I was done with completely being an athlete. Don't think you raw just cause you got success. I'll never cut your ass so many times you look like you was not yet. I'm the only child that my mom regrets. Probably best if you don't buy my album. Save your money, yo, do not invest.
Your bullshit, come on for that. Someone tell these motherfuckers that hop is back. I got my new rag on with my fitted sitting on it now. I'm ready to fuck this game up, nigga.
They can get it,
They can get it,
you can get it,
you can get it,
you can get it.
it really doesn't matter,
I
nigga.
consider my flow a malignant viper. It strips survival and heavy screaming like R&B singers who hitting high notes. The sick is rifle. Tupac's twisted Kim disciple. I've been this night, yo, baby,
Live on
Michael
YouTube
had made
right
the
now.
lido. My
Y'all
ex-girl's
might
heart is
come
so bruised and burned, begging me to quit rap. But I'm just not ready to let it loose for her. If
You'll
I
have a
hopped in
picture
the
of
rim, I
Lenny
Lucifer.
getting on
I didn't blow till I started talking the gang of shit. Tell me who you prefer. Nigga, you ain't ill in the booth. I'll die and do my next show as a hologram and still be realer than you. See, I'm the shit like I slithered in poof. I'm sick of it sticking my freaking dick inside a bitch's syphilis poop. It's not bad.
Bullshit, come on for that. Someone tell these motherfuckers that hop is back. I got my new rag on with my fitted sitting on it now. I'm ready to fuck this game up, nigga.
They can get it,
They can get it,
you can get it,
you can get it,
y'all can get it.
it really doesn't matter,
I got a
nigga.
problem, yo. I was ecstatic to buy Yeezys, but I burned it first. Heard it and snapped it in 5 pieces. Man, Kanye on that bullshit. That's why the paparazzi made that nigga hit his fucking head. That's what that fool gets. You think you got now you half-ass and wrapped in a baggy bitch. Perhaps you suffered brain damage back when you had that accident. But most importantly, hip-hop isn't dead no more, you see. Cause Kendrick took the bar and raised it up higher for him, see. Unfortunately, the little niggas like 4 for 3. The guy's a fucking midget. His high is still really short to me. Fuck giving my pencil breaks. My mental state tells me to renovate. If you hand me your shit, I toss your demo tape.
Pop, if you're not spreading love, then why do you even write music?
This is how I feel when I ain't rapping on the mic, bitch. My
Oh, bored. Too scary to handle.
Save big, drive smart. Click or call 1-800-SAVE.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, come on. You ever get tired of ads?
Be real and some of them not, but all of them have one thing in common. They are too scary for you to handle. Number 12. A YouTuber named Baker X Derek takes a break from biking to explore an abandoned house that's said to be haunted. At the top of a steep and cracked driveway is a backyard area littered with trash and a makeshift entrance kicked into the wall. It looks like a pretty normal abandoned house until a dark, narrow hallway makes him hesitant to explore further. Derek forces himself to investigate the hallway. In this weird spot of mysterious light, maybe a ghost, is what he finds at the end of a dark room. There's nothing else for it to be, and no reason for it to be there. And yet here the strange anomaly is. He doesn't see anything else until he goes to explore the equally dark and creepy basement. He stays close to the wall and doesn't go far into the room. A wise choice based on what happens next. He is squinting into the darkness when something happens that's too scary for him to handle.
Dude, I think I hear somebody. I think I hear something.
The scary noise right next to him sends him running back to his bike to peel away and never return. I don't think this was a skit because there was absolutely nobody else with him. He was exploring the abandoned house all alone. Number 11. This alleged ghost sighting caught on video is rumored to have been taken on a CCTV system overlooking a native reservation in Quebec City. At first, it looks more like bright light at the top of the screen than a person, but then it briefly takes the shape of a human as it passes through the courtyard, soon dematerializing into nothing more than an outline that flutters away. The 20-second mark is when you can see it the clearest, a possible ghost looking at the camera, one with long dark hair, a long dress, and a spidery arm that almost touches the ground. Number 10. A man works at a haunted building where footsteps, moans, and other ghost noises are fairly commonplace. One night he is the last to leave. He hears some ghost noises throughout the empty building and gets on Snapchat to document the encounter for paranormal evidence. All of the rooms look empty until he turns around and sees a ghost in the hallway that he was just in. A ghost behind the window of a locked office, to be exact, or so he claims. He runs out of the building before he can get another look, but as far as I can tell, that looks like somebody has their back turned and their hood up to me, not a shadow figure or a ghost. Assuming this is not scripted, then maybe it's an intruder who's after expensive office equipment, or even someone who has been secretly living here. Number 9. This eerie video was taken in 2008 when YouTube was new and asking someone what they were doing was considered interesting content. That's exactly what this video appears to be and nothing more. That is, until you look a bit closer.
Hello. What you doing? TV.
Yo.
What they claim is a ghostly apparition appears in their window and glides past. It's pitch black outside, and yet somehow the outline of a mysterious figure is visible. If they live in the city, then this could just be someone walking down the street for all we know. But if they had a private yard in a quiet neighborhood, then yeah, this is a really creepy video. Number 8. Olga is waiting to be wheeled into the operation room when she sees something that makes her think she's in a haunted hospital, a claim which she can back up with paranormal evidence caught on her phone camera. Her cup of water is moving all by itself like a ghost pushes it, or as she suspects, possibly her guardian angel. I don't know about you, but I would take no comfort in a cup moving all by itself moments before getting surgery. Anyway, I've seen videos where a cup moves by itself after the bottom of the glass gets wet through condensation. However, there are no water droplets on the outside of the glass to indicate condensation has occurred here, nor is there a trail of water behind the cup. Her table looks dry to me, and for this reason,
bro.
I agree something paranormal could be pushing the cup. Number 7. A YouTuber named Marcus Green and his friend Sarah go exploring abandoned houses near the woods, completely unaware that their paranormal investigation is about to go wrong. Through the window, they find this kid's duck toy has been left here all by itself. Its back is a little burnt. They also find an abandoned nursery home with an old crib and a floor full of abandoned possessions.
What's up, y'all?
There's one room left to explore, but apparently that's when a ghost lets Marcus know that this area of the abandoned house is off limits.
If anyone's fallen, it's me. Actually, I take that back. Oh,
What?
why
Yo.
did that just stop? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh
Somebody's
my
in
god.
there.
Oh my god!
They've been laughing and joking this entire time. So Sarah
Somebody was
doesn't
in
entirely
there.
believe him when Marcus tells her that the door won't open again. It only opens halfway, like someone is pressing against the other side. And at 6
think
minutes
somebody
and
was in
14
there.
seconds, the door actually starts to push back closed and he runs. He's nowhere near the door when it happens. And if it was furniture blocking the other side, then that doesn't explain why the door stops for a moment before closing. Number 6.
We're a bunch of
A
people
man
are.
thinks he has caught a ghost on camera
homeless people
while
are living.
recording the steps of his haunted home. Watch closely and you'll see a strange shadow moving from one door to the other before vanishing. The shadowy figure is too dark to be dust and almost looks like feet walking across the carpet. When the man goes downstairs to investigate, he finds
looks like a
nothing
camera-
is there,
camera blur.
and maybe nothing ever was. Number 5. This 2011
Like a
video
dog
was
walked by
taken
and
on
the
a
camera, like,
regular
blurred it
phone
out.
camera in India. It's 6 in the morning and this alleyway is always empty. Yet a mysterious shadow keeps moving past the front door. make this video even creepier, a crow calls out to no one the whole time. I was thinking the shadow could have been the crow from above, but it doesn't look like the shape of a bird's. Crows tend to cry out when something they don't like is near, which
Yeah, like
this
a
one
cat or
definitely
something.
seems to be doing. At 1 minute and 6 seconds, it looks like the shadow figure reaches down to try and test the locks. Tell me what you think is going on here, because I think, ghost or otherwise, something is definitely trying to find its way in. Number 4. Phil LaJoya decides to take on the
Yo, fuck
Candyman
that
challenge based on the 90s horror flick of the same name. You're supposed to recite his name 3 times in a row, and then you will have a sighting of him. The man with a hook for a hand, usually in the mirror. As the legend goes,
Candyman. Candyman. Candyman.
Or do you think you're too old to die?
it's too dark for Phil to have a sighting, but the drawer does open while he is standing completely still. And it's followed by 2 more scary banging noises, a sign that Candyman is near. Something about his home feels different now, a change in air pressure, like a presence is now with him. He goes outside and 3 ghost orbs follow him.
See here. Hello? Hello? Anybody here?
An orb appears every time he says hello. He doesn't really see anything else out of place, but he knows that something is near. So Phil creeps up on the mirror for one last look, and that's when he sees it.
Oh, you guys see that go across my camera? Man.
It's hard to see, but play in slow motion and you'll see the shadowy figure of the Candyman looking at him through the mirror. He is standing behind Phil and is slightly shorter. Then again, this could just be Phil's own shadow cast behind him by the light in the mirror. Do you think this paranormal encounter is real? Or is this paranormal investigator likely afraid of their own shadow? To be fair though, if I saw that shadow behind me, I wouldn't stay there either. Number 3. A kid making a funny face is overshadowed by a creepy figure levitating behind him with its head down. This picture is actually 7 years old and Reddit still argues about whether this is a ghost sighting or not. Plenty of people see a ghost girl wearing a gray dress who looks to be going into the next room. However, another theory is that a stuffed toy was being thrown behind the boy, and its movement through the air is what creates its strange motion blur. Another explanation is that this was a woman throwing her jacket on in the background. According to the uploader,
Yeah, 'cause there's
this
feet
house
right
is
there
haunted
next
and
to his
mysterious figures are seen here all of the time, along with scary noises and other strange happenings. With that said, I tend to believe this paranormal explanation the most because when you look under the figure, you'll see they cast no reflection on the wood grain floor. Number 2.
I still think
Omar
it's
Menz goes to an abandoned house for a
their
paranormal
toy or
investigation
something
at
on.
3 a.m. There's no one else around for miles, but he and his friend are sure that someone is in the house with them. They can sense it. Around the corner on the top floor, they eventually find 2 strangers in black robes bowing before a candle in a silent ritual. The 2 strange men are apparently so wrapped up in their supernatural summoning that they don't notice Omar's spying until they accidentally make a noise and go running into the night. So here's the weird thing. At 12:50, Omar clearly shines his light directly into the room, but the evil is so thick that no light can pass through. What is going on here? I've got a challenge for you. Since you've made it this far, why not like this video and hit subscribe in the next 5 seconds? Because I upload 4 new scary videos every week. If you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. Number 1.
The safest way to see a car up close.
Stupid freaking commercials.
I stumbled across this eerie video on Reddit that I wanted to get your opinion on. First First, a phantom streak of light runs parallel with this person's shoulder. He goes to point it out to the camera, and then it briefly attaches itself to his finger and flies off. He tries to make it happen once more, but strangely, he cannot duplicate the light, which makes this a possible ghost sighting. And when you look at this image at 6 seconds, it kind of looks like a ghost with outstretched ethereal arms. Now that's just terrifying. If you are alone, be careful watching this video, because that means there's nobody nearby to hear your screams.
That didn't take long, did it? There's one. Channel Ouija board possessions caught on tape. That ought to be good.
Number 10, high-tech ghost. If you can summon spirits using a homemade Ouija board, then it stands to reason that a digital version would work just as well. This is what happened to an 18-year-old girl from Lima, Peru, when she used a Ouija board app on her smartphone. After using the app with her friends to ask just a few questions, Patricia Quispe somehow managed to summon a spirit that apparently followed her home. Soon after playing with the board, her parents noticed that she started to throw violent tantrums and foam at the mouth.
Según testigos, ella presentó una aparente posesión
Looks like she's having a
satánica
seizure.
luego de jugar a la Ouija.
Her voice changed too. It became strained and evil as she thrashed about in her restraints. The poor girl often shouted the same phrases over and over again. She would repeat the number 6 3 times in a row, and she would also tell doctors to give her back her phone, presumably so that she could get back on the Ouija app and cause further damage. She was taken to a psychiatric ward to be further examined. Whether she regained her senses or remains internally possessed is the mystery. Number 9, the summoning. 4 girls are about to witness the power of the Ouija board firsthand. The video begins just as they are receiving an answer to their final question, and they are now ready to end the session. They start to move the cup in a circle 3 times to clear the board, but whatever they have summoned is not exactly ready to leave quite yet.
Okay. Oh my god! It's hard! It's hard! What's wrong? Get rid of it! It's hard! Are you okay?
Just before the girls can cast the spirit back,
Hell no. Hell to the no. Nope, nope, nope. 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 Nope, 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 nope.
into its own dimension, it desperately leaps inside one of them and
Freaking. I hate commercials.
it began. They all rush in, and one of the girls cradles her friends in her arms as she cries and trembles. They ask if she needs any water. Even though I'm not sure exactly what happened, I think it's safe to say that a glass of water probably isn't going to be enough to help her. Number 8, stuffed stare. As this footage from Mexico shows, humans are far from the only things that can potentially become possessed by summoned spirits. In this video, 3 friends are just hanging out together in a cramped room, trying to use a Ouija board to summon whatever spirits they can find. Suddenly, it looks like they attract some supernatural attention. You can't hear any sound, but you can tell things are starting to get interesting by the way they all lean forward and wait for the next answer. The room appears to grow very hot for a moment, and the man in the center rubs some sweat from his brow. As he does this, a white stuffed bear above him springs to life. It appears to look down at the 3 of them, and it especially seems to regard the person on the left the most. The man on the left eventually looks up, and the 2 lock eyes. He immediately starts to point out the possessed bear to his friends, but when his friends look up to see what he's talking about, the bear stops moving. It looks like they get in a small argument for a moment as the man tries to convince his friends that he isn't making up a story and that he really did see the bear move. One of them picks up the bear and examines it. It doesn't do anything, so they all sit down with the Ouija board and start over again. When they start to ask another question with the Ouija board, the stuffed toy begins to look around some more. This time it makes no attempt to hide itself as they all turn around and watch in horror. They all jump up from their seats and run out of the room, so terrified that none of them even think to take the camera with them. If you're enjoying the video so far, please give it a like as it really helps me out. Number 7, homemade
This crap's
possessions.
crazy.
You don't need to buy an official Ouija board if you want to contact the dead. G-Money Gaming and his friend decided to do it themselves using a Ouija board that they made with a piece of paper and a plastic pointer. Little did they know how effective their design would turn out to be. G-Money begins asking if there are any spirits in the room with them, and he immediately gets a positive response. When he asks how many spirits there are, the answer is 2. By this point, G-Money and his friend are sufficiently scared, but they decide to keep going anyway. G-Money bravely asks the spirits what their names are, and he gets a dreadful response: Zozo and Mama. These 2 spirits are famous for haunting Ouija board users throughout the world, and they are even rumored to possibly be demons with strong ties to Satan.
Zozo. Oh my god, dude. What the heck was that? We need it in session.
The Ouija board starts to spell Zozo over and over again in rapid succession, and then something is knocked over from deeper within the house. The 2 friends know that they have to end the session fast before anything bad can happen, so G-Money quickly moves the pointer over to goodbye. Just when this happens, the pointer slides away as if something had grabbed it. As they back out of the room, the entire board flies at them, and they launch into a full sprint. Number 6,
Yeah,
Lisa.
dummy, you're playing with the
A man
Ouija
and
board.
a woman managed to successfully summon a female spirit while a third person films. Lisa, the spirit spells Lisa.
Sorry, y'all.
I did not push that.
Seriously, none of you guys push that over the X like that.
No.
Notice I got a big mark right here.
Underneath the table.
No.
So that looks like it moved all on its own.
After this, the pointer dashes to the letter X on its own. Neither one of them appear to have pushed the pointer to the letter X. It seems to have moved there completely on its own. The cameraman checks under the table for
I've seen this
magnets,
one
but he
before.
doesn't find any, and there doesn't look to be any strings. There's a quick cut in the video, so unfortunately we can't exactly hear the next question that they asked. Either way, the pointer circles a bit and lands on yes, and then it darts on its own back to the mysterious letter X for a second time. If this video is to be believed, then why did the spirit repeatedly choose the letter X? Perhaps it could have meant that it was an ex-lover, or on the other hand, the letter X could even represent her death. Exactly what Lisa wanted will never be known. They understandably backed away from the board after the second time that the pointer moved on its own. However, it doesn't look like they properly ended the ceremony, so perhaps Lisa will be back for a second visit after all. Number 5, did you die in the house? Number 5, contact. Peru continues to experience
Yeah,
a
I've
high
seen that.
concentration of Ouija board possessions,
a lot of these.
this time in the city of High End.
Let's watch another one. I've already seen those. Hey, the one that's watching, would you be able to comment your name
becomes a CarMax.
or say hi
CarMax.
in the comments?
Ouija boards have long remained one of the most controversial children's toys in existence, with thousands of concerned parents banning them from the home and even calling for their removal from stores. Yet, the strange and mysterious spirit board continues to be sold, captivating the minds of people everywhere, and quite possibly even their souls. Number 11. Zozo's at the Door. A YouTuber named G Fuel Review and 2 of his friends are using a Ouija board when they suddenly hear a strange noise.
What?
No.
And then, a short while later, this happens.
Oh my god.
No.
Guys, this is real. I thought it was fake.
No.
The 3 of them rip open the door to the bathroom and find no one inside. When they turn around, they see the pointer neatly centered on the Ouija board, despite the fact that it was clearly knocked off the
Why do
board
people
when
want
they
to
were
play with
getting
Ouija
up.
boards? Like, seriously.
Get
Like,
it off. Get it off.
Oh, yeah, we can't leave that.
So you guys just take the
Alright, just
pointy
to prove
thingy
that nobody
and
is here.
throw it.
There's nobody at our house.
They sit down and begin playing again. Soon, the spirit reveals itself to be Zozo. It starts to spell out 666, and the camera runs out of battery. They get a new camera, and one of them finds fresh scratch marks on their back.
Picture right now.
Was this already?
Forget the video. Take a picture right now.
Yeah, that was already there.
That's stretch marks. But those are scratches.
Many people have pointed out that this could have gone wrong because they never properly ended the ceremony by pointing over goodbye. Number 10. You did that. A group of girls are recording their Ouija experience in hopes of catching something interesting, but it doesn't seem to be going very well.
This is ridiculous. I'm so done.
Yeah, my arm hurts. There's no point. Nothing's gonna happen.
Just when they are about to give up, however, something on the other side apparently takes notice.
What's this big stuff?
They begin to argue and blame each other for moving the pointer. Then they become freaked out when they realize that this is no joke. The bravest one in the group asks the spirit for its name.
I told you, Jay. I told you it wasn't me.
Oh.
John, it replies. He is 36 years old. They ask John how he lost his life. G-U-N, John spells. He also reveals that it happened in his home. One of the friends becomes certain that this is a joke, and she comes up with a plan to prove it.
Say something then.
Say boo.
Typical ghost.
You're playing with stuff you really shouldn't be playing
Something
with.
crashes behind them as John sarcastically spells out B-O-O. Then, when one of the girls says he can't hurt them, he launches the pointer straight into her foot, and the video ends. Number 9. Mellow Bird's board. Ouija boards are known to cause trouble all of the time, and just having one in your house can cause strange disturbances to happen. As this video demonstrates, a YouTuber named Mellow Bird is recording a video in his kitchen. He leaves the room to do something for just 1 second, and then quickly comes back to grab his camera and go into the living room. He doesn't even make it past the doorway before he sees that his Ouija board is out of its box and doing something that's absolutely crazy. The Ouija board drops so quickly
Comment
that you
if you
might
want
not
to.
see it at first.
Like and subscribe. Over here watching 11 Haunted, a Ouija board. Ooh, it's caught on
Look
tape.
closely and you'll see how it starts off mysteriously floating in the middle of the room, almost touching the ceiling, and then it drops straight to the floor.
Sure,
as Mellow Bird is left to ponder the situation,
Some of
a
this stuff
tiny
just
orb
makes you
floats
wonder if
down
there's
from the
strings involved.
doorway. You can see it best when it moves across the black television screen.
Dude, like last night's videos, like, that stuff was crazy.
Mellow Bird stands around for a bit and then challenges the spirit to do something else to prove their existence, but nothing happens. It appears that he's all alone again, or at least for now. Number 8. Samantha Stone is not alone. This video comes from a YouTuber named Samantha Stone, who claims to have been targeted by strange occurrences after researching conspiracy theories about aliens and ghosts. In this video, she and a friend are experimenting with a Ouija board when suddenly something from another
on the
realm
floor or on a
apparently
table?
starts to experiment with them instead.
Yo.
They start off by asking some basic questions
shut
to
off
the
for no
spirit,
reason again.
but soon they have its full attention, and they don't have to
Turn it
touch
down a
the
little bit.
pointer at all. Samantha's friend quickly shows that they are not using any strings to make this video.
It's like nothing. It's going all the way around it.
If this pointer is real, then the ghost seems less interested communicating with them.
Could it be
as
magnets?
opposed to moving the pointer in strange
Is
and
that thing
unpredictable
metal?
ways.
Like, what is
At
that?
one
Is that
point,
plastic
It
or
looks like the pointer is about to levitate.
Metal.
Still, the spirit doesn't give them much information about who it is or what it wants. Oh, And if you think they are using magnets underneath the board, I thought the same thing at first, but then I realized that the board is on the ground. There's just
I guess
no
it
way.
just answered my question.
Number 7. Strange noises.
But it could have
A
magnets
YouTuber
like
named
up above
Austin
the
Shippey
camera,
is using the Ouija board with a friend.
where you can't
They
see it like
apparently
a
made
powerful magnet.
contact, but it's not necessarily the spirit's answers.
But I don't know.
that
I
make
just
this
know you
video
don't mess with this
haunting,
type of shit
but rather the strange sounds that kept coming from
at
the
all.
background. It seems like every time they ask a question, something weird happens in the background. Perhaps the weirdest moment of all comes at the very end of the video, when they are ready to leave.
Thank you very much for talking to us. Goodbye.
There is no reason for the pointer to squeak like that. They are on a smooth surface and are not pushing down hard at all. Number 6. Orbs across Sam. This rare video was taken about a year ago.
This is nuts.
During the middle of a seance, the group is moving the pointer in a circle to clear the board when suddenly the camera woman asks,
Whoa.
Can you manifest into an orb near Sam?
What language is that? Whoa,
there is a
there
bit
it
of
went.
an accent, but her exact words are, "Can you manifest into an orb near Sam?" Sure enough, a tiny ball of white light darts past the group shortly after. It could be editing, it could be a coincidence, or it could be a very polite and respectful ghost who is doing exactly as they were told. Number 5. The Possession of Carmela. This video does not include a haunted Ouija board per se, but a woman named Carmela as she is being tormented by spirits unleashed from a Ouija board. Now she is being rushed to the hospital as she says strange and evil things. Her face twisted.
She's either
as tightly
possessed
as
or
the
she
muscles
just
will allow.
extremely high and messed up on something. Yo, she
When the
tripping.
emergency medical technicians tell her to wake up, she sits up and an evil spirit appears to speak through her. Carmela lets her head drop back and begins to thrash back
Is
and
she giving
forth,
birth?
while the
My
spirit
father's
that's
coming.
inside of her continues to say cryptic messages. The video is believed to come from Spain, but not much else is known. I highly
Spain?
doubt that this has been staged because this looks like a real medical emergency, so she is probably either suffering from a delusion or she really was ravaged by spirits. They say that you can become possessed if you do not properly banish the ghosts at the end of the Ouija board summoning, so maybe that's what happened to poor Carmela. Number 4, the
That's
flying
crazy.
pointer. This video was recorded more than 5 years ago. It shows the pointer moving around the Ouija board on its own at first, but then it somehow levitates and begins flying away. There's a good chance that this is CGI, at least.
Yeah,
that's
that's what I
the
was
only
thinking.
explanation that I can think of besides actual spirits. Number 3, playground possessions. A girl named Jessie and her friend decide to try and summon spirits at a playground at 3 in the morning. The video starts off very lighthearted as Jessie plays on the monkey bars and her friend makes jokes, but soon things get much more serious. They've just barely started when they hear a strange noise and whip around.
Did you hear that?
They shine their flashlights on the playground tubes, but don't see anything. The two friends sit back down and start again. It isn't long before they've made contact.
man.
Is there anyone here that would like to contact us? Are you doing that?
No, are you?
No.
The spirit identifies itself only as D and refuses to say its real name at first, but then says that it is the infamous demon, Mama. Then it says that there are 3 of them, all watching. Now strange noises are happening all around
Yo,
them.
this stuff is crazy.
Didn't you hear that?
Apparently, their idea of summoning harmless children at a playground is turning out to be more serious than they thought. Mama starts to recite the alphabet backwards and then starts to count down the numbers, which Jesse's friend says is a way for the demon to get out of the board. Before they get a chance to move the pointer over goodbye, Sammy drops to the ground. This is what the camera records.
Oh, holy, shut the Jesse
just got possessed.
Yo, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button
You're laughing
and share
really weird.
if you
Are
would.
you serious?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even remember, like, playing the Ouija board.
She wakes up with no recollection of what happened. Hopefully, if this video is real, the demon left her alone after that, though we'll never know for sure. It could still be inside of her, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself again. Number 2, Jake goes to the asylum. This video comes
Y'all
on
comment
day
in the
208 of Jake Paul's vlogging
in the chat
marathon.
if you'd like to. If you'd like to chat, comment in it. I'll chat back.
He brought the hike to Tucson. Promise.
But yeah, if you guys want to chat, just type in the chat box, and I'll talk to y'all.
Going to an abandoned
Oh, that's a
asylum
commercial.
with
I thought that
Ouija
was another
board.
video.
He's gone there once before and
Like,
spoke to a
what's
ghost
gonna happen in a
named Eric.
restaurant?
This time, they want to go to an area of the asylum that they believe might be holding Eric's files. If there are any files for Eric, then it will help them verify that their last experience was real. While searching for evidence of Eric's existence, they stumble upon an old brick section of the asylum that feels extra foreboding. This must be the area where the most serious
Yo, they
patients
brought
were
2
kept.
Ouija
They
boards.
start to have technical
What the hell?
difficulties almost straight away.
Yo, did my legend? Oh, my light's flickering. My light's flickering. Stop. I'm not touching. Oh my god, it's here. Yo.
Finally, they settle on a spot and start summoning. Jake plays a joke and pretends to be possessed, but soon snaps out of it. They go on to summon Zozo, and that's when things get really bizarre. Zozo begins counting down numbers and says, if you don't leave without finishing the sentence, Paul asks Zozo if he can look through the pointer, and Zozo denies him permission. He grants it to his friend, however, and this is what he sees.
What? You should say bye. Why? We should just say bye, bro. Why?
He bursts into tears, unable to describe the horrors that he witnessed by looking through the pointer. Later, he would admit that he saw a strange face looking back at him. Before we get to number 1, if you've ever been curious as to what I look like in real life, then follow me on Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT.
Hell to the nah.
I also
You
have a
don't see
Twitter
me
at
out there doing that crap.
YT_chills,
Nope.
where I post video updates. I'd really
Not
appreciate it
me.
if you followed me, and feel free to send me a DM if you have any questions or suggestions. If
Nope.
you'd like to see more of these videos in the future, then hit that subscribe
He
button because I
legitly
upload a
started
new
crying.
video every Thursday. Number 1, original footage. This video is admittedly hard to keep up with. The video is original footage from 1999 that was sent to a random station or address with no further information included. The quality
That's
is
crazy.
understandably low and glitches out several times. A general summary is that there's a group of what appears to be several teens drinking, chatting, and playing games. One of the games that gets pulled out is the Ouija board. Things are fine at first, and after playing with the board, a few clips pass and the doorbell rings. One boy, as well as the camera person, go to check the door and see no one is there. At first, it seems like a case of ding dong ditch, but as they're standing at the front
I
door, the
remember
bell
playing
begins
that
to
when I was a
ring
kid.
over and over again. The lights flicker as well, and the camera glitches severely.
Jesus Christ.
After the terrifying incident, the group comes together to discuss what happened. Loud knocks can be heard from above or somewhere in the distance. The group travels through the house in several chopped up clips trying to locate the noise, but every time they're in one location, the noise can be heard in a different location.
See, you hear that? And again. So, audience, whoever you are watching this, right now, I am pretty much believing this house is haunted, and I'm pretty much believing we're experiencing a ghost situation.
The group even attempts to climb into the attic before the doorbell begins ringing again.
Hey man, again, see, how the f is that happening?
Once they're all inside, the doorbell ringing and knocking begins again. Another sound can be heard which sounds like a scratching or clicking.
Yo, man.
Thanks for checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe because I upload a new video every Thursday. Or if you're still not convinced, here are some of my other videos that I think you'd like. Enjoy.
I think I just watched that one. What do you think, y'all? Do you think I should watch Babadook?
And welcome back to the most
Oh,
amazing
these
channel
guys
on
are
the
cool.
internet.
I like
I'm
these
Rebecca
guys.
Bellgates.
My name is Danny Burke, and today we're going to be talking about the top 10 scary things that you should never
Amazing
Google.
top 10.
Honestly,
I love
I'm really
these guys.
glad you're here, Danny, because I'm feeling a bit stressed out about all of these scary things.
Well, what would you say is the scariest thing that you personally ever Googled?
I've included all of the scariest things that I've Googled on this list, so I can't answer you right now, but I will answer you over the duration of this video.
And at the end, if you guys keep watching that far, engagement, video engagement. All right, before we get into this list though, why don't you guys let us know what's the worst thing you have ever seen on the internet? It doesn't have to be scary. I'm kind of regretting asking.
Yeah, I'm kind of regretting asking them that. But you know, we like a good chat. We love reading your comments out at the end. And also, we do really like it when you leave a thumbs up on our videos and share them with your friends.
Yeah.
If I had friends beyond Danny, I would share them with them. I can't share this one with you because you're in it.
Also, share them with your enemies.
Ooh.
Starting off with number 10 now, we have jiggers. That's the name of a parasite that is found in most tropical countries. They only measure about 1 millimeter in size, but there is an insane amount of damage that they can cause. This tiny flea burrows into exposed skin on people's feet. They then stay there for about 2 weeks, laying eggs and causing the feet to swell. The condition is
Oh,
fungiasis
man, I don't
to
wanna-
many people.
no.
It looks like a normal blister with a central black dot on it. That black dot is
no.
actually the end of the flea sticking out so it can breathe. Ugh. If left untreated, it can lead to serious
Oh,
infections and
man,
loss of
no.
toenails. The good news, if there is any, is that they can be easily stopped in their tracks by physically removing them. The
That's
bad
not
news is that
something I
you
wanna
can't
know.
do that if they are somewhere inaccessible. Levison Wood is a British adventurer who went to Rwanda. Now, while he was there, a jigger laid his eggs underneath his toenail. He had to cut the end of his toe off with a razor blade in order to stop it. I can't even continue with this. I just wish I'd finish on the good news instead.
That is disgusting, Danny.
Yeah,
Toenails.
disgusting.
Toenail freak me out. All right, moving on from toenails to the dark web, because this is a diverse list. Do not ever Google how to get onto the dark web. I feel like you should absolutely never mess
I've heard a
with the
lot
dark
of stuff.
web at all.
I've heard a lot of stuff about the dark web. Like, if you get on the dark web, then like the people that can contact you on there will like find out where you live and they'll kill you or something like that, or they'll do harm or whatever to stalk you, make your life miserable. That's just what I've heard about it. I don't know if that's true or not, but I stay away from that type of stuff.
Cost, it's just too risky. The dark web is called the dark web for a reason. It's filled with dark people. People who use the dark web tend to use it for illicit goings on, like drug deals or the hiring of assassins. Now, I've never been on the dark web. The closest I've ever got is 4chan. I have to take it from those who have visited it that it isn't a very nice place. Now, according to articles on various national news publications, the dark web is a place where you can access murder live streams, which, well, I'd really rather not. Luckily, you can't just stumble upon the dark web. You need to have access via a torrent. However, if you're really intent on getting there, it is possible. But is it worth it? Okay, best case
I
scenario,
don't think it
you
is,
just kind of
because,
scare yourself. Medium
like,
case.
I don't like commercials, as everybody knows. There we go.
Or, worst case, you don't want the dark web to
Hold up.
actively come and find you, but it might.
Moving on now to number 8, we have the simulation argument. Earlier on, I talked about something that can make you physically hurt, but this one may just hurt you mentally. To put it quite simply, a number of physicists and philosophers have proposed a theory that all of reality, the Earth, our galaxy, in fact, the entire universe, is actually an artificial simulation. Essentially, it's a logic.
What do you guys think? Do you think that the Earth is an artificial simulation? Do you think that could be possible or not? What do y'all think? Comment in the chat box what you think, because I actually kind of want to know what everybody's thoughts on that is. What if it was? Sorry, y'all. Had something important to take care of.
Argument. There are 3 scenarios that could unfold for humanity. A, our species dies out before developing advanced technology. B, we live long enough to develop advanced technology, but creating a computer simulation of an entire universe is impossible. Or C, we actually simulate an entire universe in the future. Let's say you believe humans can live long enough to create advanced technology. Okay, that rules out option A. Now let's say that it is possible with enough power and technology to create a simulated universe identical in every way to our own. Okay, so that rules out option B. That leaves us with option C. Humans do end up simulating an entire universe identical to their own, perhaps to study how their ancestors lived. Now the question is, do you think that we are that universe? We're the real universe? Is it going to be our descendants that create these millions and billions of universe simulations? Or do you think that we are living in one of those simulations that the real humans and real universe created? There could be billions or even trillions of those, but only one single real one. What do you think is more likely that we live in? I'll just leave that one with you because my head's starting to hurt. Just a
Yeah,
little
my
bit.
brain just started hurting too.
We
I
have
was like, what?
spontaneous combustion. Like, you're just out there living your life and then you catch fire, burn and die. I'm not up for this. This is one extra thing that I just don't need to worry about today. Spontaneous human combustion is a rare phenomenon where living or recently deceased humans catch fire without an apparent source of ignition. Yes, this really is an inappropriate time for R.
Yeah,
Kelly's Ignition
spontaneous
remix to come
combustion.
into my head. Get out of there, R. Kelly. Anyway, combustion. A light level of research tells me that spontaneous combustion really isn't very common, although it does happen. Also, reading the characteristic notes on Wikipedia made me want to be sick, so I'll spare you the gory details as to what goes down when you do combust. Spontaneous human combustion is also closely related to a bizarre medical syndrome called the Stevens-Johnson syndrome. This is a skin condition that's characterized by severe burns and blisters, and trust me, you don't want to see that either. To be honest, I'd stay away from Googling any kind of skin condition. It's just not what you need.
Next up at number 6 now, guys,
This is
we have
nasty
the
to watch.
calculus bridge. Now, this might sound
look
like
at.
a creepy old bridge, but it's much worse than that, trust me. Brace yourselves for this. This is a calculus bridge. Now, how bad does that look? I feel really awful for the people who actually have this, but what exactly is it? Well, essentially, it's a buildup of tartar, the yellowish deposit of minerals that form on the tooth surface as a result of pre-existing plaque that has hardened. It can happen in just a few weeks as well. Eventually, the plaque develops into calculus when the constant accumulation of minerals from saliva adheres itself to the plaque. Once the calculus bridge forms, it can be very painful and obviously quite unsightly. There's actually even more of a pressing concern. See, calculus is also loaded with bacteria, which just sits there in the mouth, causing a big risk of infection. It's advised that people visit a dentist as soon as they see this forming to have it removed, unless it's got really bad dentist will usually just use a routine cleaning method to remove it. Every time I hear about one of these horrific teeth stories, I just want to go and book an appointment with a dentist right away. In fact, do we have any dentists out there who want to give me a checkup?
Did you say a build-up of tartar?
Yes.
Like the sauce? That's disgusting. That makes me feel...
That is right.
I don't know.
We're going to too late now. On to the next one.
On to the next, but also... Bleh. Okay, next up, flying scares me anyway, but honestly, this is truly and utterly terrifying. Coming into number 5, we have the MH17 aftermath. Malaysian Airlines flight MH17 was shot down on the 17th of July 2014. Now, this came just 4 months after Malaysian Airlines flight 370 was lost after taking off from Kuala Lumpur Airport. This made 2014 the worst year for aviation in 10 years. The crash of this plane was extremely high profile, and so far as the current evidence points, it was downed by a Russian military missile as it flew over the Ukraine. All 283 passengers and 15 crew members on board were killed, and horribly. As I said, planes do scare me, and the thought of being downed by a missile while in flight, well, that didn't even cross my mind until this plane crash. This is a whole new thing to worry about. Knowing about the crash is scary enough, can't really avoid the news. What you can avoid is looking into what happened to the plane and the people on board in the aftermath. I have many regrets in my life, but Googling this one is one of the few that I do have. Honestly, I feel like it changed me as a person, and really, really, really not in a good way. All right, I really hate this too. Coming into number 4, we have Ed Gein Leather. Ed Gein was a notorious murderer who inspired the movies Psycho and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, aka 2 of the scariest movies of all time ever. Well, he's real. So Gein was criminally insane, but for a long time he was living without any attention directed at him in Plainfield, Wisconsin. Gein admitted to killing 2 women in the mid-1950s, a pub owner and a hardware store owner. Not only did he kill people, he also dug up corpses from local graveyards, and what he did with those bodies was a true atrocity. After his second murder was traced back to him, police officers went to Gein's home, and what they found is something that no human should ever have to see. Not only did they find the missing woman's body decapitated in a shed, they found furniture and household objects made of human leather. These are some of the most terrifying things I have ever had the displeasure of seeing. You don't want to see them, please don't Google them. He also made human masks out of people's skin and was thought to have worn them as he roleplayed as a woman. Honestly, this haunts me to my very, very, very core. Daddy, I'm sad. This is a horrible list. Can we do a fun one together next time?
Yeah, but we have to earn the right to do a fun one by doing stuff like this.
Okay, that's fair enough, but...
My next one's really nice, actually.
Oh, yeah?
It's horrible. Next up at number 3 now, we have The Body Farm. If you've ever watched a crime show on TV,
yeah, that's what I was talking about last night.
To try and figure out how long that person's been dead for. That knowledge doesn't just come from anywhere. It comes from a place like a body farm. Body farm is where people donate their bodies to science, so the scientists can study how they decompose. The pictures you're seeing now come from the Forensic Anthropology Center at Texas State University. The information they gather here can be used in a court of law, and some of the researchers have even been called up to give evidence in murder trials. They also specialize in facial reconstruction. By studying how a face decomposes, they can then recreate what a decomposed face would have looked like. If that makes sense. This proves invaluable in identifying unidentified murder victims. They will take anyone who donates their body with just 2 conditions. They must weigh under 500 pounds when they die, and also not have any sort of infectious diseases such as hepatitis C. So if you meet those 2 criteria and you want to help fight crime in death, maybe body farms are the way to go. Wow, what a morbid one that was.
Actually, I feel like body farms maybe are a good thing, but you just don't need to see it. Interesting, but gross to look at. Okay, this one is horrifying on all levels and super gross to look at. Coming in at number 2, we have the Hammer Murderers. So the Hammer Murders of the Ukraine are a true abomination, and you don't want to know about them, much less see them. I'll basically give you the basics so you don't feel like Googling it ever. The Dnipropetrovsk maniacs are serial killers who are behind a gory spate of murders between June and July 2007. While they are 2 of the scariest people I've ever read about, but also just 19 when they went on their murderous spree, which in a way makes them even scarier. Their names are Viktor Sanyenko and Igor Sprunayunk, and in little over 3 weeks, they managed to kill 21 people without any order or motive. They range from children to the elderly. The pair seem to love of Nazism and bloodshed. They killed their victims with hammers and used their blood to paint swastikas. The diabolical duo reached new levels of depravity when they were found to have photographed and videotaped the murders, some of which unfortunately have been leaked onto the internet and are searchable on Google. Honestly though, I just wouldn't do it.
And finally, at number 1 now, we have the murder of Tim McLean. Now, even for those of you with a very morbid fascination with crime might find this one a little bit too much. You have been warned. In 2008, a Canadian called Tim McLean was returning home Manitoba after working at a fair in Alberta. He boarded a Greyhound bus. After 7 hours, the bus picked up a new passenger, Vince Weiguang Li. The 40-year-old Chinese-Canadian man was described as having a shaved head and wearing sunglasses. Originally, he sat near the front of the bus, but then moved further back to sit next to Tim. And by this point, Tim had fallen asleep against the window with his headphones covering his ears.
Yeah, I think this is where he decapitated that dude.
And began stabbing Tim in the neck and chest. The bus driver pulled over to the side of the road so that he and the other passengers could get off. Then Lee decapitated Tim and displayed his severed head to the other passengers standing outside. He then returned to the body and began cutting off parts of it and eating them. Police arrived on the scene and entered into a tense 4.5-hour standoff with him before he tried to escape by breaking through a window. He was tased, handcuffed and arrested. Parts of the body were retrieved from the bus while his ear, nose and tongue were found in Lee's pockets. He was found to be mentally unstable and was found not criminally responsible for the murder and was remanded to a high-security mental health facility in Manitoba. He was eventually released from there on May 8th, 2015. On July 9th,
they released him.
Greyhound Canada announced they would end virtually all services across Canada. And many people speculated the drop in ridership was a knock-on effect from the murder of Tim McLean.
Danny, I'm scared this was awful and I need a hug. May I please have one?
Yes, of course.
If only we could hug you all. I feel like we all need a big top 10 group hug.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this kind of gross, morbid, scary journey. We searched for all of these so you didn't have to, but shall we do a part 2, Rebecca?
I really don't think that we should do a part 2 just because I feel very, very sad. But if you do want top 10 best rainbows that ever existed or top 10 happiest
Do another top
kittens,
10.
then let me know.
Don't let me know.
Why do you want to do that? I love a cat. Happiest kittens.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the video. Also, give it a like. We'll see you all in the next one.
We will. Bye.
See what this one's about. Top 10 scary underwater discoveries. Yo, have you guys ever seen that? The new Jurassic Park or whatever, or the old Jurassic Park?
In the ocean. It's deep,
One where it has that
dark,
big
and wet, and
like
there's a
fish
whole bunch
type
of
thing
weird
come up
crap
out of the
there
water
that
and it
freaks
eats
people out.
whatever
You
it was
got
I was
sharks, you got colossal squids, you got pollution. There might be some smoking hot mermaids down there ready to risk it all to be with a land boy, but you would probably drown before you got to second base.
Comment in
With
the
all the
live chat
mysteries
box
that
if y'all
are
want to chat.
going on in
I'll
the
talk.
deep
I'll
blue,
chat back.
It's no wonder that I'm bringing you today's list of top 10 scary underwater discoveries. Make sure you stick around for the whole list.
Don't forget to share this to get more people to come in and be able to hang out with us.
Make you never want to go into the ocean.
See what everybody's up to
As
today.
always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Also, follow Most Amazing Top 10 on Instagram and
I love
Facebook. It's a great
Amazing
way
Top
to
10.
get to
This
know
stuff is
myself
cool.
and the other hosts a little bit better. And without taking any longer, let's get into this list. At number 10, we have an octopus nursery. 8-legged alien-looking things with suction cups all over their arms and beaks for mouths. Octopus are creepy-looking things, and to top it all off, they can camouflage like a Navy SEAL, and they are super smart. If these are the kind of things that make your skin crawl, then just running into one of these guys would probably freak you out. Well, on the underwater expedition at the Davidson Seamount, there was a rather shocking discovery. They had a remote probe that was on the ocean floor around 10,000 feet, and they came across which seemed to be an octopus that was next to not just one, not just two, but a group of 1,000 octopuses in a nursery. They were all there laying their eggs and using the heat from the volcanic vent to keep them warm. I would hate to be the guy who accidentally steps into that crack and then gets devoured by thousands of sticky arms. But if you're at 10,000 feet underwater, you probably are already screwed. At number 9, we have the Siberian lake monster. Of
Can't go
if
nowhere
we're
if you're
doing
down
a
that
list
far.
of scary things that live underwater, we have to throw a giant mysterious sea monster on here. What separates the Siberian lake monster from other more popular guys that we have seen like Loch Ness and that kind of stuff is that
What do y'all think about the
underwater
Loch
scans
Ness
actually
monster?
pick this guy up. This thing is deep in Lake Labincourt, and some radar has shown that it looks like a 33-foot long creature is living there. Now, this is probably just a skeleton, but if this thing is dead, it means that there was once a giant man-eating monster in this lake. I thought we were supposed to be safe in freshwater. They've nicknamed this thing the Devil, so you know he's a good time and loves company. So next time you go up to the cottage and you're swimming in the water and you feel safe, remember there might be a giant monster lurking underneath the water, ready to turn you into a side dish. At number 8, we have the Blue Hole. Now, there are several blue holes in the world. There's one in Belize, there's one in the Red Sea, there's a giant one in my heart that was left there from when Reboot ended on a cliffhanger. How are you going to end a show that so many people fell in love with on a cliffhanger? I will never trust again. Well, this one is between Cape Verde and the Caribbean islands. Scientists are really confused about this thing. It's a crack in the bottom of the ocean floor and is several thousand miles long. What's strange about this is there's no explanation of how this happened. It might have been tectonic plates moving around, but when this happened, the Earth will probably start to repair itself, and there's been no sign of this. My theory is this is where Godzilla goes to sleep at night. I mean, it seems like the most logical answer. It's either that or the gateway to hell. Like, come on, guys, I'm doing real science work here. At number 7, we have the Yonaguni Complex. This was discovered by scuba divers in the 1980s. I think that's the scariest part about this one. Could you imagine going scuba diving back in the 80s? The technology back then must have been a tube going up to some guy who would blast fresh air down to you using a bicycle pump. I don't even think they had decompression sickness figured out back then. The chances of you coming up the bends was probably super high. Well, if it wasn't for a few divers in Japan who were willing to sacrifice it all to look at some cool stuff, we wouldn't know anything about the Yonaguni Complex. It's still a mystery as to what this thing is. It looks like some temples that might have existed thousands of years ago, but when the Ice Age decided to melt, it would have covered this entire area. This could be why an entire civilization got plunged underwater. Or the temple could have been on a cliff, and then when a massive earthquake hit, it knocked the temple into the water. But like everything in life, there are some haters who say this whole thing is just a natural rock formation. Some people just want to ruin everything. At number 6, we have Anacortes Sister Twista. One of the reasons why the underwater world is such a mystery is because we find things like this in there. Sure, there are beautiful things down there like bright fish and chubby marine mammals, but there's also the unknown, unidentified organisms like Anacortes Sister Twista, which should be the name of an 80s hair metal band. But what is this thing? Well, it's a protist. And what is a protist, you may ask? Well, it's an organism that doesn't belong to any animal group, fungus, or plant group. What does that mean? I really have no idea, you guys. I think it means it could be an alien. Some alien came down to Earth for a swim and then scraped its knee on some coral, and now we have alien creatures running around the ocean, probably waiting for you to pee so it can swim up your pee hole and then work its way into your brain. It's really the only logical answer. At number 5, you have the Bimini Road.
Really didn't want to know
How
that.
were the pyramids made? Was it aliens coming down to share their technology and secrets with us? Or was it just thousands upon thousands of slaves who sacrificed their lives and their spines to build them? Well, we don't know, and we may never know, but the Bimini Road is another one of these mysteries. It's off the coast of the Bahamas, and it looks like it could have been a pathway that was placed perfectly with giant slabs of rock. Similar to the way the pyramids were made, it seems that these large slabs of rock were too large to be moved by man, and also like the pyramids, these giant slabs were also perfectly placed so well. So where does everyone's mind go when something like this happens? Well, magic or aliens. The logical answer is that this is a natural phenomenon of the water moving and hitting the rocks to make these formations. But people think that this was made using advanced technology from aliens and could have been the road to Atlantis. Honestly, I like the Atlantis theory much better. It's more fun. At number 4, we have colossal squid. Yeah, this thing is a big no thanks for me. So everyone always talks about how there might be sea monsters out there. But this thing actually exists. There's never been one caught alive, but several have washed onto shores dead, and they are massive. The largest one ever discovered was 45 feet long, and it was dead. So you know there was an even bigger one out there that killed this guy. They don't even have suckers on their tentacles. They have hooks. Let me say that again. This squid has 10 giant arms covered in hooks. This thing is straight out of a horror movie. Scientists aren't even sure what something this big eats. They think it probably feeds on whales or your deepest, darkest fears. I wouldn't be surprised if the colossal squid works part-time as a gatekeeper for hell. It makes me think that the old Greek stories about the Kraken might have been real. At number 3, we have underwater circles. Giant formations of circles that are formed underwater, and nobody knows how they got there. These mysteries were discovered off the coast of North Carolina, Florida, and Belize. Now, what are they? Like many things on this list, myself and the entire scientific community have no idea. But here are some theories. Maybe they were formed naturally by either two things, water currents or some sort of animal mating ritual. Another idea is that these things were made by ancient civilizations before the Ice Age. All these things would have been above ground and might have been art left over by some old-timey tribes. And the third theory is that they look kind of like a bullseye, so it might be some sort of nuclear missile target, and if you hit it hard enough, the explosion will cause some sort of major natural disaster, like an earthquake or tsunami, or if we're lucky, both. At number 2, we have Megalodon. If you have a fear of sharks, you're going to love this one. Megalodon was a prehistoric shark that was even bigger than the giant hooked tentacle beast that was earlier on this list. If you've already forgotten about the colossal squid, it clocked in at around 45 feet long, where Megalodon was closer to 60 feet long. It was a 60-foot shark that could probably rip a blue whale in half in one bite. Well, maybe not that, but it was still a gargantuan creature with teeth the size of Brock Lesnar's fists. This thing wouldn't even chew you. It would just swallow you whole and then fart your skeleton out into the dark, cold ocean. At number 1 on our list, we have Giant Eyeball. A mysterious giant eyeball washed onto the shore of a Florida beach back in October of 2012. I don't know any other kind of giant eyeball other than a mysterious one. There's no super common regular giant eyeball just lying around. But this is also Florida. This is the state where people smoke crack at weddings and kiss alligators on the lips. So maybe it's a little more common over there. Well, this giant eyeball was found by Gino Cavacci, and he didn't know what the hell to make of it, so he took it home and then stuck it in his freezer. Then he called the cops, and the cops came in and told him, "We don't do giant eyeballs on the beach. You have to call the wildlife people." And they called the wildlife people, and they were like, "What the hell is that?" And he was like, "I don't know. I brought it to you guys to try and figure out what it is." And then some people were like, "Maybe it's a sea monster." And other people are like, "No, it's probably from a marlin." And I think in the end, no one really knew what the hell it was. But just so you know, there's giant eyeballs out there just laying around the beach sometime. Well, everyone, that's our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Also, follow Most Amazing Top 10 on Instagram and Facebook. It's a great way to get to know myself and the other hosts a little bit better. Until next time, I've been Shade Arena, and remember, stay out of the water.
No problem.
Want to stand out online? Go to Wix.com.
All right, y'all. I am gonna get off here. Thanks for watching, everybody, and don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button, and share. If you want to see more of my content and stuff, today was just a kickback hangout, basically. It wasn't too much to do other than this a little bit. Just a little hangout because I was bored. But yeah. Thanks, and I might be live later this week, or I might be live again today. I don't know. Depends on what happens first. But thanks for chilling with Dean, and I'll see y'all next time. Thanks. Peace.